Welcome back to a 78 Camaro video. Don't know how long this one's going to be, but we need to know how long our push rods have to be now that we have gaskets. I just ran out of time the other week, so we're going to go ahead and get this put together. I think step the first is we're going to go ahead and get our guide plates and studs on. So I'm going to pop over to AFR's website and look up the torque specs on these. And then in case you hadn't noticed, these kind of go through, looking for, well, I guess I'll just grab a screwdriver, into air. So if you look here, that goes into the chamber. So it's very important that we seal these holes or it's going to be sucking oil in there all the time. You always get a little bit of blue smoke. So we definitely want to make sure those are nice and sealed. And we did 3 stages up to 55 foot-pounds on these. And don't forget, these go into air. So we did put thread sealant on them. So next we're going to go ahead and drop lifters in. Do a little more cleanup there. I know we covered this loosely in a previous video, but I'm going to show you in a little more detail what I'm doing here. I've got a series of push rod checkers. And in fact, I pulled it up so you could even see it. Every time you make a complete revolution, because they're threaded at a 50 pitch, they move 50 mils. So, in fact, this is what they look like. So I've got them in various lengths. The one that happens to be in right now is a 7702-1, which can go from 6.8 to 7.8. Right now, I had it all the way closed and then turned it out 20 turns. So, if you think about that, every 2 turns is 100 mils or 1/10 of an inch. So, if we've got 100 mils for every 2 turns, then that means we're 1 inch out. So, we've extended that 1 inch. So, it's almost as long as it's going to get. So, it started at 6.8 and now it's at 7.8. And you'll note she's pretty close to the center. Now, we'll do a remark and do everything and find out. Because we're within our ballpark. We're going to be plus or minus 50 mils from where we are here on the intake valve. The next one I want to do is the exhaust valve, which is going to be longer. It's a big block Chevy. So, I'm going to take this one, bottom it out. I'm going to turn it out probably 18 turns. And we'll go from there. We'll set that on there, and then in a little bit, we'll just zero the poly down, turn the motor over, see where she rides. All right, we re-upped our sharp 'em, so we've got that on there. I've got these just touching. Remember, you know, nothing's pressured up, so we're going to go ahead, throw our ratchet on there, and then we're going to do 2 complete revolutions. So you'll watch. Right there, we've just opened the exhaust valve. That'll start closing, and you can see that closing. Now we're opening the intake valve. And you can see she's open. I'm going to bring her down. And we're almost on base circle here. So, see this keyway? It's going to be pointed roughly right there when we're pretty close to top dead center for our compression stroke. So, I'm just going to turn that until it's pointed there. Now, I know both these valves are closed. I'm going to back off the polys. Which, like I said, we didn't have any extra stress on them or anything. Just touching. We're just seeing how the rocker rides here. Okay. So, on the exhaust. And on the intake. Let me get a sharp pointer here. On the exhaust side, hopefully you guys can see. I'm trying to find where the light wants to shine on it. But there's a white mark right in the center. Same with the intake. Right in the center. Those are the lengths we want. So we will go ahead and order some 7.8s and some 8.8s. Okay, and just for sanity's sake, we went ahead and did number 6 as well. And you can see we're riding in the center. So that'll work. Just to show people that we're not crazy when we say everything costs more. That 7912-1 push rod that we ordered for the Corvette motor, I'll look up what year in just a minute, was $12.97. That exact same push rod now is $22.95. And when was that? I should have had that scrolled so I could see the date. Dun, dun, dun. April 11th, 2015. So, yeah. Anybody saying there isn't a little bit of inflation is lying to you. That is almost double. It just blows my mind. We just priced out push rods, and we're going to spend $300 on push rods. Holy cow. All right. And like I said, pretty short. That was all we really needed to do there. Something that Harlan asked about is, why are there tie bars on these lifters? Well, because this is a retrofit roller style cam, and a regular cam, the lifters spin around in their bore. Well, obviously, if that happened, you know, bad things would happen because there's a little wheel on here. Let me get one. Wow, these are slippery. There you go. See the little wheel here? That's what rides the cam. It's a roller cam. Well, since this block wasn't originally for a roller, it doesn't have any way to keep it that way. Like, this is a roller motor, but it's not open. However, something tells me that if I come over here somewhere, I can find some bits to explain this better. Give me just a minute. Okay, so here is a later model small block Chevy, and you'll notice there's these raised points here that are threaded. Whereas in this mid-60s small block, you'll notice it does not have those mounts above the cam tunnel. Well, that is where a spider mounts. So this is the spider, and it sits down and holds these little dog bones down. So you can see those, this pushes down in the middle, and there's a lifter on either side that can go up and down. See that shape? I looked around. I don't have any of these lifters on hand. This is the old school style lifter. See how it's round? In fact, you could almost see, probably not on the camera too well, but it's not flat, and it spins in the bore. You know, it does that. It spins, keeps everything nice and happy. Well, the factory lifters for rollers have a big roller in the bottom, just like you saw on that other one, but two flats in the side that ride in here, and they're a little taller, and it rides in there so they can't spin, and this holds it down. Well, when you take an older style block and you want to make a roller out of it, just like we did in everything really, because, you know, zinc is real and flat cams are terrible. This is what you wind up doing. So there's play in them, so they can move up and down independent of each other, and they get plenty of splash oiling, so that's not a big deal. But that keeps it so the little wheels are straight on the cam, and that's the only way that can live. And then I don't know if I ever showed you in this series, but there's a little button on the end, because believe it or not, that spinning is what counteracts the distributor. The distributor shaft is here, and it's pushing on a cam gear, pushing the cam forward. Well, the slight bevel ground in the cam that spins those lifters also pushes the cam backwards. Well, if we go to these wheels, nothing happens. So you either get a cam retainer plate that goes around the nose of the cam and holds it in the block, or, like in this case, there's a cam button. So there's a nylon, usually, or in our case, a roller button pushing against this, so the cam can only go forward just that little bit. You know, it just keeps it from walking forward, because the distributor is pushing, because, not so much because of the distributor itself, but because of the oil pump. The resistance of the oil pump causes that to really push against it. So that's why that is happening. So, see, on this engine, well, in fact, on the old engine, see, cam goes here, gear rides right there, little oil falls down, no big deal. On the newer one, these two little holes here, a plate goes here, and there's actually a recess ground in the cam that rides in that plate. So that's the difference there. So anyway, that's the explanation for those tie bars on the lifters. ShopRex definitely asked about that. Figured that would make a nice, interesting thing to show. So anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been another ShopRex approved video.